Hi, my name is Franny Fracker, and I'm here to tell you all about it, and I hope you are joining me for at least the 5th or 6th installment on this. I swear to God, I've been talking for the last hour and a half. I'm exhausted. But I'm going to keep on going because I want to tell you all about horizontal hydraulics, leak water, fracture drilling, and I want to tell you as much as I possibly can in 3-minute segments. And here to help me do that is my lovely chicken timer, who doesn't have a name yet because y'all haven't been getting a hold of me. YouTubing. Francis, why don't you name her Chicken Little? Because you're telling me the sky's falling. No, I'm not. I'm telling you they're pumping it into the air, though, and it's going to get pretty heavy and fall on you soon if you don't start paying attention to what they're putting up there. All right. Last time we were talking, I was telling you about Halliburton. Say that with me once. Halliburton. And we was talking about Dick Cheney and how when he was vice president, he's helping everybody understand that oil and gas is a really good idea, and the only way they're going to really start to kick it in the can is to have that EPA off their backs. So what they did is they went to the Congress and they said, would you do us a favor? Congress is good at that, and they said sure. So they said, we would like to get away from having to deal with that Clean Water Act, the Drinking Water Act, the Clean Air Act, the this, the act, the this, the act, the act, all these acts, and it was yak, 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 and pretty soon it was all taken care of, and everybody was exempt. They said, well, you can't just go out there and do anything you want. Everybody else has to pay attention. Right, Flo? Right. So, pardon me. Do I have lipstick on my teeth? Yeah. All right. So they are. So then they said, well, if you're not going to have regulation through the EPA, which is federal, and everybody else has to do it, and why don't you have to? But nobody asked that question because you don't have to worry about that. All you need to know is that it's all right if you're in oil and gas to go out and do anything you want according to the EPA. Now, not according to every state, because see, states got their own regulations. Y'all know what regulations are now, don't you? A bunch of people get together and they decide you can do this, you can't do that, you can do this, you can't do that, can't do that, you can do this. If you do that, you're going to get this, and there's going to be fines involved. I got my own personal ideas about regulation. I'm not going to sit here and tell you about them right now, but if you'd like to get a hold of Franny Fracker at YouTube, I'll be glad to then. Otherwise, just know that there are regulations out there, and so far, if you go on in Colorado, Oil and Gas Conservation Commission, gosh, if you can get through that thing, then God bless you, because nobody but anybody in the industry can read the darn stuff that's on there. But fortunately, I got some young friends that can, and they've been telling me that there have been spills, and there's stuff called methane going into the air. Now, this is leaking out. Now, this is leaking out through all kinds of places in them wells and all them pipes. I mean, they're laying pipes here, there, and everywhere. There's more pipe laying than my Uncle Bill has after Sunday brunch. Okay? There's piping here, and there's piping there, and there's piping everywhere. And everywhere them pipes go, they're leaking. Sometimes they leak 2%, sometimes they leak 7%, sometimes they leak 20%, and sometimes they're just a mess. And what's coming out of all them pipes is something called methane. Y'all know what methane is? Let me tell you who has the most methane in the world. Cows. It goes in and it goes out. You understand what I'm saying? Methane. Now that methane goes into the air. Now the cows can't help it. But if they're in the pipes, they need to tighten them pipes up. They need to tighten them wells up, because when that methane goes into the air, it causes problems. And them problems usually have something to do with the fact that it works a lot faster and a lot better than carbon dioxide in keeping the heat in. Do y'all know what that means? Global warming. There are people who say there's no such thing as global warming. We're not here to talk about global warming yet. We're going to, because you know, if this goes viral, I might tell you about global warming. If it doesn't, I'm just going to stick to what I'm telling to you right now about oil and gas. Now, when that methane goes into the air, it's got some other things with it that I can't even begin to tell you. They're called VOCs and NIOXs and OXs, and there's all kinds of stuff going on. But volatile organic chemicals, compounds, volatile organic compounds that's going in the air with that methane and some other things. Now, here's the problem. Along with some ground level ozone, that's a whole nother story. But here's the problem. Human beings can't breathe methane. They don't do so well with those volatile organic compounds either. And the people that are starting to have some problems are the ones that are living closer to the whales. But guess what? Stuff goes into the air. It doesn't just sit there. It moves. So if somebody has a whale 500 miles from your house, you're still going to be getting the effects of it, because everything everybody does everywhere affects everybody now, because we all breathe the same air. You understand what I'm saying? So we need to find out more about this methane, and we're going to find out more about it on my next installment of Francis Fracker Tells You All About It. What? Hydraulic, horizontal, slick water, fracture drilling. Bye. Welcome. My name is Francis Fracker, and I am here to tell you all about it. Quit pointing at me. I understand. My name is Francis Fracker. You can call me Franny. All my friends call me Franny. I'm going to be here to tell you all about horizontal, hydraulic, slick water fracture drilling, which is a process that's used to get oil and gas out of the ground 7,000 to 10,000 feet down out of the shale, because it don't want to give it up. Now, why do we need fossil fuel? That's a whole nother story. I'm going to tell you that some other time. But right now, they're getting it out of the ground and they're using it, and they're deciding, who was they? That's a good question, you know. Oil and gas is run by great big companies. And companies are in business. And business is to sell something to you. And to sell something to you is to make sure that there's going to be some kind of profit involved. So let me tell you that oil and gas is a business. It's a business like any other business, and there's some people that are local business, and there's some people that are international business, and it's all business to make sure that you're buying oil and gas. And the only way to get you to buy oil and gas is to be able to get it out of the ground so that they have it to sell to you. And so they have to get it out of the ground by using, you guessed it, hydraulic, horizontal, slick water, fracture drilling, fracking. All right. Now, we've been talking about how fracking's been going on for a long time, but not this kind of fracking, not this kind of going in and using lots of chemicals, not this way of going horizontal. There's a lot of differences in the way they used to be getting oil and gas and the way they're getting oil and gas now. Now, if they had been doing this for many years, why did we have an oil crisis in the 70s? That's another story. All right, so let's talk about, we was talking about Halliburton, we was talking about how oil and gas got lots of exemptions off the EPA, we was talking about how a lot of states have their own regulation, we was talking about how they were talking about using this as a bridge fuel before we can really get down to using renewable energy, and now, a friend of mine who's sitting over there telling me I got 1 minute left sent me a newspaper one day, and it was from the Wall Street Journal, and they said that now the industry's saying, oh, forget this being a bridge fuel, my God, we hit the mother lode, we're getting oil, all kinds of oil out of here, there, and everywhere, and we don't even need to worry about this being a bridge fuel anymore. We got enough oil to last us for the next 500 years. So, there's lots of stories out there. There's lots of people telling you a lot of different things, and that includes me. Let me remind you, as I did maybe 2 or 3 episodes ago, that you do not need to believe me. All you need to do is find out what's going on, and I'll tell you why that's important. That's important because if you don't want a well in your backyard, if you want to make sure your children have some clean water to drink, if you want to make sure that your grandchildren are going to have some clean air to breathe, then you need to start to pay attention. All right? All right. That was quick. I gotta go already. Okay, this is Francis Fracker. And now you remember, if you want to get a hold of me and tell me how you're going to name my chicken, or you want to leave me any kind of, now leave me nice messages. You don't need to get nasty with me. Just get a hold of me at Francis Fracker at the YouTubing, and I will read, I promise I'll read every single one of your messages, unless you're going to get nasty with me, and then I'm just going to throw them in the toilet where they belong. Bye. I'm I'm on. Boy, am I. My name is Francis Fracker, and I am here to tell you all about it. I think this is about episode 10 or 11. I barely got any breath left. I'm old. And there's a lot of methane in the air. And I forgot to bring my oxygen. But I'm here to tell you all about it. Tell you all about what? Hydraulic, horizontal, slick water fracture drilling, which is a part of a process of the oil and gas development that's been going on all over the country and all over the world. And this is my chicken. Isn't she cute? She's a timer, and she's the name. She doesn't have a name. We're going to ask you to please get a hold of my YouTubing and give her a name. That way, she's got a name, and I know that you're watching. I've been told people can't concentrate anymore. It used to be when Lincoln would go down and he would have debates, people would pack lunches and come from miles around and sit there all day and listen. Now, if I can keep you for 3 minutes, I'm lucky. All right. You know how to spell fracking. You know what fracking is. You know where there's lots of leaks. You know that we have problems. You know about Halliburton. Say that for me once now. Halliburton. Yes, I hope you know how to spell that, because I don't. I couldn't even find it for a while. I couldn't spell it. But now we know that Halliburton's very involved. If you go out to one of them wells, especially when they're putting them in, there's Halliburton trucks all over the place, because they got them recipes. They got the recipes that tells them how to get down there and get that oil and gas to come out of that shale. All right. Now, I am starting to wear down. So what I'm going to do is I got some friends out here, and I'm going to ask them if they have any questions. And I'm just going to pray that if they do, I got the answers. But if I don't, I promise you that I will write them down, even though I don't have a pen with me. Somebody take some notes, and I will get back to you with the answers as best I can. I'm going to tell you one more time, you do not need to believe a dang word I say. You don't need to believe me. You don't need to believe the government. You don't need to believe Halliburton. You don't need to believe Anadarko. You don't need to believe your Aunt Jenny when she tells you that your teeth are yellow. Just listen and make up your own mind about what's going on. The most important part about any of this is that you understand that there is something going on and it's affecting you. That's the important thing. Once you start finding out more about this, it's like falling down a rabbit hole with Alice. Let me tell you, and it's hard to get back out again. So I'm trying to give you some real interesting, quick information about this so that you can then make up your own mind. Because one of the things that's happening is that they're starting to come to your house. You understand what I'm saying? And there's some towns that are trying to say, no, wait a minute, time out. Let me find out what's going on here before you started drilling in my town. And there's some problems with that. And so you got to pay attention. There's votes, important votes that are coming up. There's petitions going around. There's all kinds of things you need to know. If you don't know about it, how you going to do anything about it if you start getting sick? Or if your house starts falling down when they're doing all that thumping called seismic testing to find out if there's anything near your house. What I'm trying to say is you need to find out. And whatever you decide is your business. I'm not here to tell you your business. I'm trying to help you understand what's going on and how you need to pay attention. And then I'm going to go home and find out who's winning Dancing with the Stars too. And we can talk about that later. You know, them boys are taking their shirts off almost every single time they dance these days. All right. Friends in the audience, do you have any questions? Crickets. Can you hear the crickets? There's nobody questioning anything out there. That's the kind of audience I like. Does that mean you're believing me? Yeah. Some people are laughing. All right. Well, this is Francis Fracker. I don't have any more questions from the audience. I didn't even have one. You think you could have brought something along with you, like, Francis, where do you get your glasses? Something. I'll talk to you soon. This is Francis Fracker. Thanks for joining me. Bye.